right, so good morning, everybody. It's wonderful to be back here Thursday morning. So a couple of things. Firstly, for those of you who were not here last night at Partners in Torah, at the remarkable Partners in Torah, we introduced a new Rabbi to Torch last night. So we have a new Rabbi. We're very excited. He is a tremendous Torah scholar and a very, very great personality. Very unique. If you didn't hear, he also knows how to play some Irish music.
What's his name?
His name is Rabbi Busco. Busco, yeah.
Where's he from?
And he's originally from Atlanta.
Oh, really?
Yeah, suburb of Atlanta.
Not from Ireland?
And what's that?
Did you say what? He played Scottish music?
Irish, yeah.
That's what I said. He's not from Ireland?
No, he's not. But either way, so wanted to share a short thought before we begin today's class. This week's Parsha is Behaaloscha. Behaaloscha tells us two very straightforward bichukotai. It says two, right? Not the wrong Parsha.
No.
Okay, good. Okay.
Definitely better be.
Okay, just making sure. So it's very, very straightforward. Basically, if you follow my laws, I'll give you a reward, and if you don't follow my laws, I'll give you punishment. And that's basically the whole Torah portion. And it gets into the details of what the reward will be and what the punishment will be, and they're not very good. Right? The punishment is really not very delightful. So, but the reward is what I want to talk about. So it says, if you follow my laws, my ordinances, you connect with me spiritually, then physically, materialistically, I will give you a reward. 1 second. Why would you get materialistic reward for your spiritual pursuits? Isn't the counter of spirituality physical, material? Right? So why would that be the reward? Say, okay, you follow my mitzvahs. I'll give you clarity in the hidden world of Kabbalah. I'll give you some other spiritual brownie points. Well, no, you attain a spiritual level of connection with Hashem. You follow Hashem's way. I'm going to give you a physical reward. So I want to share an idea which we've discussed in a different way in the past, and that is the difference between Judaism and other religions, particularly Catholicism, is that we don't see physicality as a negative. They see, if you're physical, you can't be spiritual. If you're spiritual, you can't be physical. They're counters to each other. In Judaism, it's just the opposite, right? We take the physical and we need to elevate the physical and make it spiritual, right? So marriage, right? You can't be a Kohen Gadol and not be married. You have to be married, right? There's certain things you cannot do if you're not connected in a physical way in this world. We need to use the physical and elevate it spiritually. We infuse the physical with spiritual. And we see this whole idea, we see it by Genesis, in the beginning of the Torah, when it says, in the beginning God created heaven and earth. So there are these two creations. There's Shamayim and Aretz, there's heaven and earth. What's heaven? Heaven is the spiritual pursuits, the spiritual realms. And then you have Aretz, which is earth, and that's the physical world. And these are these two counter worlds that are constantly, we're right in the middle, and we're facing the struggle. Do we go to the spiritual world of Shamayim, or do we go to the physical world, materialistic world of Aretz? And that's the struggle. We see Jacob and Esau, his brother. One was dedicated to spiritual, and one was dedicated to physical. And that was the battle of the two worlds. This is, if you want to know the struggle of mankind, it's the struggle of physical and spiritual. And what I believe is going on in this week's Parsha, when it tells us, if you follow my spiritual ways, I'm going to give you the reward of physical. Because now, if you're able to connect spiritually on your own, then the next step is to take the physical and elevate it. So God is going to give us a reward of physical, so that now we can elevate that as well. We can take the physical and elevate it. So take practical examples. We have houses. Hopefully, everyone lives in a house, has a roof over their head. We could use our house for our own glamour, for our own fame, for our own recognition, or we can use it to volunteer, to have classes in it, to have a parlor meeting for our synagogue. We can utilize the physical for spiritual, and it elevates. Invite people to your house for Shabbos. Right? So you can take the physical and elevate it. You have a car. You can use it so that people look and like, wow, that's your Tesla? Nice car. Or you can say, you know what? You need a ride, we can take you, someone needs a ride to the hospital. You need to go visit someone who's sick. You use it as a tool for a mitzvah. Now you've elevated the physical and made it spiritual. There's nothing wrong. We don't believe in Judaism that we need to be abstinent, that we need to be deprived from physical. On the contrary, we need to take the physical and elevate it and make it spiritual. And I believe that's the purpose here of this week's Parsha, is to understand that if you indulge only in the physical world, you'll be neglecting the spiritual. If you indulge only in the spiritual world, you'll neglect the physical. They're both here for a purpose, to be elevated. Right? And it's the reward is that you'll have both. You'll be able to elevate both. All right? So Hashem should bless us all, that we should utilize the opportunities we have in this world, in this magnificent world that we're in, and elevate the things that are around us, whatever it is. I have a friend of mine that he says every time he gets a bill, he stops and he says, "Thank you, Hashem, for the bill." Right? The bill means you're alive. The bill means that you're living. You're without bills, what are if you don't you prefer not having property tax. That means you don't own a house, right? You prefer not having car insurance. That means you don't have a car. So thank God I have these bills, right? Thank God. The idea is even something which seems to be negative can also be positive. We have to just adjust our perspective. So to our dear friends online, thank you very much. Eileen, we miss you here. Thank you for joining us online. See, your mom is watching. And have a wonderful Shabbos, everyone. And we'll continue our regular class right now. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.